Hi you guys, welcome back. We're finally doing the video that I've literally been teasing for I think over a month at this point.
You could literally watch Kristen chain smoke cigarettes for freaking hours.
Welcome back. My name is Sam if you are new here. I do reality TV show commentary, pop culture commentary. If you haven't checked out my Vanderpump Rules videos, those are some of my favorite ones that I've ever made. I'm obsessed with Vanderpump Rules. This season sucks, but here we are. I am doing a video that I feel like I am very qualified for, because I'm a millennial who grew up on reality TV. I'm obsessed with reality TV. I think reality TV is like the best type of television there is out there. Ebbs and flows, obviously, great seasons, horrible seasons, blah, 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 blah. We've all been there, okay? But here's the thing. Early 2000s reality TV shows, before people knew what a brand deal was, before people knew how to manipulate the script here, when it was just raw dogging it, reality TV, early reality TV is like literally the best thing ever, okay? In my opinion, reality TV truly started with the real world, okay? Real world is not on my list because I wasn't like a real world girly, okay? I wasn't vibing with the real worldness of the world. So I don't want to put my 2 cents into something I don't have knowledge of, okay? Real world was like kind of just right before me, And like the only real world that I can literally remember in my brain is a season that Karamo from Queer Eye, Karamo was on. That's the only season I can remember watching. That's it. Did you guys know that Karamo was on The Real World? Did you guys know that? Fun freaking facts, okay? So here we go. All right, so our first category is I'm the HBIC, okay? Known from New York, from I Love New York / Favor of Love, okay? Next one is pay attention, please, okay? And this category, Danielle Staub, if you know, this category is for those of you that for some reason like forgot this show existed and need to like get your memory back on track and watch this reality TV show, because it is a truly a train wreck of a gem and needs to be studied by scientists. All right, next is I'm an acquired taste. You don't like me? Acquire some taste. That's Ramona Singer from Real Housewives of New York. My favorite franchise after all. And here's the thing. Some of you need to acquire some taste, okay? Is this like the best? Is this the head bitch in charge? No, it's really, really not. But you guys really need to wake up to this. Just think about it. Have some taste. Next one is We Were Rooting for You by Tyra Banks, okay? We wanted this to be good, but it failed us epically. We wanted this to be great, but then it went downhill from there. Okay, and I already see one right now on this list that I'm like 1000% that one. And then I Want to Forgive You and I Want to Forget You. These are shows that I wish just didn't exist in the first place, never came about, was not good for my psyche as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, and wasn't good, honestly, for anybody's psyches, if I'm being for real right now. So the first one we're going to do is America's Next Top Model. America's Next Top Model is elite, is in an elite category of its own, okay? This show is psychotic, okay? Tyra Banks is wild. She is a wild creature of a person. The things that she would make these girls do, she wanted to like close some girls' teeth gap. She's shaved girls' heads before. They've done blackface, if I remember correctly, on this show. It's like the most insane show ever. So for me though, I just think that it's one of the head bitches. I just think it's one of reality shows. Like it's a must watch. It's a must watch. I watched pretty much all the way up until, God, I watched a lot of seasons. I must have watched the first like 10 plus seasons. And then it got to a point where I was just like, something's not right here. All right, next we're going to do is Punk'd. So if you guys don't remember, Punk'd was Ashton Kutcher, his show. And if you remember Dax Shepard, who's married to Kristen, what's-her-face, from Elsa, Anna, you know? Anna plays Anna? Yeah. They're married. He was also on there. And so they basically would have like celebrities come on, think that they're about to like do something, and then would completely fake them out. And then Ashton Kutcher would come out of the corner and be like, "You're punked, bro." And he did this with a lot of famous people that there's no way in hell they would do it now. Like, he pranked Beyonce. Beyonce Knowles Carter. B. Okay? She's putting a little star up on the Christmas tree and all of a sudden, Timber! And when I tell you, I think that's when she was like, I'm never going to be on TV ever again. I'm never going to be on a reality show. I am making sure that everything I do is my own working now. And that's why we don't get her in these situations anymore. So it's Ashton Kutcher's fault, to be honest with you. Justin Timberlake was on there. There are so many celebrities that were on there. It's a kind of a crazy show. I would say that it is a acquired taste, though. Like, you have to be in that, like, bro, yeah, vibe. Like, if you don't like this type of vibe, you're not gonna want to see it. It's just very bro vibes. And again, Ashton Kutcher, question mark, current day. Next is The Girls Next Door. Listen, I love The Girls Next Door. It was probably one of my favorite shows. I did not watch after Heidi. Is that who was? Who was the head girl? After the head girl left, I stopped watching. I was like, no, why are we here? Kendra Wilkinson I don't know where she is, but I'm glad that she is not on reality TV anymore. She really needed to not be on reality TV anymore. She eventually went on reality TV with her ex-husband, and they had kids, and it was awful, absolutely awful. Also, if you watch the documentary about Hugh Hefner and the Playboy Mansion, disgusting. Yeah, Holly, was that her name? Holly was the head girl there. If you take all that out and forget all of that, just for nostalgia purposes watching it was a really cute, fun show, and I loved watching it. It was silly and amazing and weird, and it was just, it's one of those shows where, again, it's an acquired taste, but I really, really liked it. Okay. So the Osbornes, I think I watched maybe like one season of the Osbornes, but the Osbornes literally like walked so family reality TV shows could run. Like, they were I think they were the first, if not the first, they were one of the first. Like, I'm pretty sure before the Kardashians. You can fact check me on that. But they basically, like, the reason why you hear the beep track all the time when people swear and shit is because of this show. Because Ozzy Osbourne was nonstop swearing all of the time. This show was so unhinged, so crazy. This is Kelly Osbourne in her like emo goth girl like scene era. She was like killing it in that world. You got to see them in their mansion, living life, swearing all the time, talking back to their parents. Like, it was very much like, I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare. It was very much that, 1000% that. I would say for that, it's definitely something that people should pay attention to more and probably should have in their lexicon of reality TV. Okay, so next is Housewives. I can't put all the Housewives franchise on here because we'd literally, like, that alone would be here for forever. And plus, like, they're all ranked differently. So we're just gonna go overall. In my opinion, the Housewives is one of the head bitches in charge. They are one of the head bitches in charge. They have created a cult that I am a member of actively. I give my dues every month, and I'm totally fine with that. I've spent millions of dollars and mortgaged my house out for these women. That's how much I'm invested in them. I love them so much. My favorite overall group was Real Housewives of New York. I just thought that they never got to a point, in my opinion, for a while, until they got to like the Leah seasons. But they really never, as a group, lived in a world where they were editing themselves in any way. And they were like thinking about what other people were thinking, and they were thinking about what the audience was thinking about for like a very long time. So it was so fun to watch them because they were just being themselves. And at themselves, pure evil. Like, Ramona Singer, I'm convinced is like a MAGA head. I'm convinced like voted for Donald Trump. I'm not even joking you. So these women are unhinged, crazy, but quality of programming, kiss, kiss, kiss. Real Houses of Potomac, like, it kind of like ups and downs. Really good franchise though, I think overall. Real Housewives of Atlanta, watch the first like 5 seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's like literally pure magic. Original seasons of Real Housewives of New Jersey, truly magic. Like, the overall is an amazing franchise. I will say now, though, it's gotten to a point where they all know that they're being watched and they know that there's an audience and they're very involved. So now it's not as like raw and authentic and like off the cuff fun. They're very aware now, which I kind of don't like. Miami still lives in a place of delusion, which I really love. I love where Miami kind of sits right now. They're still living in delusion. And I kind of love that. It makes me really happy because they're more likely to be messy. And I really, really like that. But overall, Real Housewives is the head bitch in charge. They're fantastic. All right, next is Toddlers and Tiaras. Toddlers and Tiaras is a classic. Watching little children get spray tans, have makeup on, have their hair teased to high hell, and then their parents, aka their mothers, be completely psychotically unhinged was very entertaining. I'm not going to lie. And this is why these shows are why we have trauma. Why do millennials have trauma? This is why we have trauma. Because we were raised to think that we could be a toddler walking around a stage in a spray tan, tip-tapping away, throwing the batons around, and being famous. We thought we were them. We thought we could be them. We cannot be them. Also, why do you want the childhood trauma from that? Toddlers and Tiaras is an acquired taste. It is an acquired taste. You either love it or you hate it. And back then, though, Wild West. The Wild West of the toddler competition scene. Which, does, if that exists still, disgusting and should be obliterated. All right, not Real Housewives, oh my God, Jersey Shore. Jersey Shore is when I became enlightened, okay? And when I started realizing that reality TV made me the woman that I am today, okay? Gym tan laundry, Snooki getting her face just socked in at a bar, like, what is that, first season I think that happened? Them constantly getting like railed off the beach, Snooki getting arrested for being drunk and intoxicated on the beach, the fights that they had, the hookups that they had, Ronnie and Sam, like, oh my God, that alone was psychotic. And then it's really cool now, like nostalgic wise, that they have a new show now where they're all grown up and they've all changed. They have families, they have kids, like, and they all get together. I think that's really, really cool. Very, very nostalgic. I would say pay attention. I would say definitely pay attention to that show. It's like peak MTV reality TV shows. My Super Sweet 16 is another one that I think you need to pay attention to. It is such a wacko show. And they've had ones where celebrities' kids have been on there. Like, I'm pretty sure Diddy, like, gross, but Diddy's son was on there, I'm pretty sure. And they've had these super rich, just snotty teenagers. I'm pretty sure Jennifer Lawrence was on this show. Not as the teenager that was the Sweet 16, though. I think she was a friend of, I think. And this was just watching teenagers at their worst. Like, in my opinion, teenagers are actual, like, terrorists. Like, teenagers are the pure evil of the world, okay? It goes straight white men, teenagers. Teenagers are pure evil. They only have evil coursing through their veins. Like, they are venom at all times. They're psychotic. And so this show was validation to adults that, like, teenagers suck. Like, watching Super Sweet 16, that's how older, like, boomers think millennials are and think Gen Z is. They think that that's who we are. In their head, they think this is us, 1000%. Next is Teen Mom. I want to forgive you and I want to forget you. Okay, Teen Mom is trauma. Teen Mom is trauma, okay? The women that chose to be on this show, on this program, and the willingness for the parents to allow them to be on that show, the trauma is, I don't know one girl off this show that is like truly was thriving for a very long time. I think maybe some of them have like gotten to a better place, maybe, but the original cast, like Farrah, I cannot even tell you. And Teen Mom and 16 and Pregnant are basically the same whole thing. It's just one of those things where it's like, these are shows that shouldn't be made. These are shows that should not be made. They should not be pushed to the forefront. It kind of gives a little bit of like if I was pregnant, I could be on TV vibe. You know, if I was a teenager and pregnant, but it also kind of gives like oh my God, I'll never be pregnant again. Like watching this now, if I was watching this right now, I'd be like, I'm never having a child ever. Never gonna have a baby ever a day in my flippin' life. This show though caused a lot of young women to go through unnecessary trauma that maybe they didn't need to be going through. Like Janelle is another one. Like that situation is very, very messed up. I just don't know any succeeding situations out of these two shows. They should be forgotten, and the women need to hide and never be on reality TV ever again, in my opinion. Next is Dance Moms. Listen, this is one of those shows where it's like we're almost celebrating bad behavior. We're like literally celebrating the abuse of children. That's what this show is. Like Abby Lee Miller, people like rave about her and are like, oh my God, like oh, Abby Lee Miller, she's iconic. But no, she's like literally a child abuser. Like she's a psycho. She is a verbal abuser of children. Beyond that, I could not tell you. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only, I don't know. But like she verbally abused children on national television. We willingly consumed it, and we watched these other moms willingly allow their children to be participants of it. That's kind of messed up. And then on the back end of it, you've created so much trauma to these girls that now JoJo Siwa is the new Abby Lee Miller creating trauma on two other girls. And the cycle continues. So this show was, we were rooting for you, and it was going to be cool and fun and amazing and this cool little insight. And now it's like, cut the cameras dead ass. This show is not a good show. It's not good. It's not like, we have to stop. First of all, children shouldn't be on TV shows. Like in my opinion, I just think we should not allow children to be on reality TV shows. There's no need for it. You're just creating trauma. It's not a good thing. And you're taking video evidence at them at their most vulnerable stage of their life where they're learning the most and they're making the most mistakes. It's just not appropriate in my opinion. It's a really bad idea. And this show is now creating like generational trauma and creating more people to prey upon teenagers. And we already don't need more of that. So like, not to bring the mood down, guys, but Dance Moms needs to be like forgotten and forgone forever. Okay. Oh my God. Now we're down to like the most iconic shows I've ever watched in my entire life. So The Hills was my teenagehood. I wanted to be on The Hills. I wanted to be Lauren Conrad. I thought she was an icon. This is one of those shows where I feel like people need to pay attention to it. People need to pay attention to it. I'm not going to put it at head bitch in charge because in my opinion, Laguna Beach was the catalyst for a lot of this teen reality show stuff. Like MTV was at peak reality TV show. I don't think you guys understand. Like when I was growing up, like MTV was peak reality TV. Like my parents, MTV was about like music videos and shit. For me, MTV was reality TV shows. The best reality TV shows you could find, the most incredible ones, and they stand like the test of time and they're worth a rewatch. I mean, there's so many things in it that are super problematic in all of these television shows, like to 2024 standards. But like the nostalgia is peak nostalgia, okay? The Hills is just incredible. I mean, Lauren didn't go to Paris. She didn't go to Paris. She stayed for Jason, to be at a beach house for a loser. I heard he's not a loser now, actually. I heard he's sober and a great guy. So like, good for him. But like back in the day, Jason, awful, horrible. Okay, and then we find out in the series finale of The Hills, spoiler alert. Also, if you haven't seen it, I don't know what to tell you. Spoiler alert. They have like this little play on of, you know, was it real or was it scripted? Did they know what was going on or did they not know what was going on? And so that kind of played into that. And it also had like a little wink, wink, nod, nod, basically, to reality TV as a whole. Because reality TV is not necessarily scripted, but it definitely is certain storylines and certain themes are provoked and pushed forward versus other things. So is it raw and real reality TV? No, not really. There are parts of it that are manipulated for sure. And if you listen to Kristen Cavilari's podcast that she had with Steven from Laguna Beach, you'll hear a bunch of shit that was just bullshit that happened. And I think Lauren Conrad was on that. And yeah, they just talked a lot about the fakety of reality TV. And there is a lot of it, unfortunately. But I try to pretend like Blinders. That's not real. All right. Something that I feel like didn't even need to be scripted, didn't need to have any push because these people were wackos, okay? Was Flavor of Love. And I'm sorry, head HBIC. That show was the funniest idea ever because it was basically The Bachelor, but psychotic. They were like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we got instead of like on The Bachelor, they have like, 2 or 3 unhinged women that are on there that are like, and like obsessed and kind of stalkerish. They said, hold my purse. What if the entire cast was crazy unhinged women that were stalkers and psychos and alcoholics, possibly drug addicts, maybe some strippers? I don't know. What if we did that instead? Hence, Flavor of Love. Flavor of Love is just so iconic and so incredible. And so many incredible things came of that television program. So many incredible things came of that. And, of course, New York, who is iconically one of the best reality TV personalities out there. She came of that show. And current day, very problematic things have been said, especially about the trans community that I do not support. But in the tiny little bubble of the television program, there's a reason why I Love New York came about. Because Tiffany Pollard was an icon, was incredible. I definitely think it is an acquired taste. Okay, I Love New York is an acquired taste. Because in my opinion, Tiffany Pollard is an acquired taste, okay? She is a very specific type of reality TV star. She was on House of Villains. She has a mouth on her. She is the meme gif queen. Like, always has a quote coming out that you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. Is always saying the most unhinged shit. It went back on Flavor of Love season 2, which in my opinion is even better than season 1. And it's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible show. It's amazing. I highly recommend watching Flavor of Love. I'm going to warn you, it is extremely problematic. There are a lot of dumb shit said by these women and by Flavor Flav. Same thing with I Love New York. There's a lot of insensitive, dumb shit that is said. But overall, entertainment-wise, it's very iconic. And it is a catalyst for Rock of Love. Now, Rock of Love, I need you to pay attention, please. Rock of Love is so good. Okay, it's so bad that it's so good. These, if you can think of a room of groupies, just like put out a signal, a bat signal for band groupies, like rock band groupies, that's where they all like congregated for this show. And Bret Michaels being the person that all of them go for, I'm like, do we want to have sex with Bret Michaels? I don't. But you guys do? Okay. I'm questioning your mental health and I'm going to assume you have daddy issues if you want to bone Bret Michaels. Fun, not fact, but something like some tea that I heard about this show was that he actually had a girlfriend like the entire time the show was happening. The entire time. He just did the show and made out with all these women, stared at their boobs all the time, talked about how much he wanted to have sex with all of them, and that's about it. And then he had his security guard that was on there, which I also pretty sure it's factually validated that he had like a little thing with one of the girls. That was a whole thing. And they're always drunk, always just hammered out of their minds, acting crazy. One of them refused to leave and like left, but then ended up coming back and convincing Bret that she could stay. They all have, oh my God, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. So Flavor of Love, I Love New York, and Rock of Love. Also, there's Daisy of Love, because Daisy was on Rock of Love and she got a show called Daisy of Love. Again, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs group of people. But they all got nicknames. So he, like, you know how I said Tiffany Pollard's name is New York? They all got nicknames. Like Coyote was somebody on Rock of Love. They have the most crazy names that they give these people. And that's what they call them. They don't call them by their real names. They call them by their nicknames. It's creepy. It's weird. It literally is The Bachelor on crack. It's truly The Bachelor on crack. Okay, so next is Laguna Beach. I think Laguna Beach is really up there, to be honest with you. I really think it's a head bitch in charge because honestly, I really think that it was like a catalyst. I think I already said this, a catalyst to a lot of the other type of like teen reality shows. Like this is kind of like their tester. And they're like, if this works out, we're going to do more of it. And I also think it was a catalyst to a lot of scripted shows too, not just reality TV. I think it was oh wow, like people really enjoy watching teenagers and their drama. Let's try to have like a scripted show. Like I think about like things like Riverdale and stuff and Pretty Little Liars and shows like that. It's like this kind of gave like the wink, wink, nod, nod to producers and people in Hollywood of like, oh no, people want to watch teenagers act crazy and what they're living with on a daily basis. And they actually have a lot of drama on their own. So this is actually perfect. And so that's kind of what like made all of that. It also, again, made The Hills, which then turned into The City, which then it had like a remake of The Hills. And The Hills has, you know, Heidi and Spencer, which is, oh my God, and then Brody Jenner and all that stuff. So then you have The Bachelor. And The Bachelor, to me, it's not the head bitch in charge, but it is in general, because this is where dating shows came from. This was the original dating show. And basically, any dating show that's ever existed is successful because of that. The only thing that sucks is that they continue to not have some type of queer one. I don't know why they won't do it, because they pander to so many straight people, I think, especially straight white people. I just wish that they would do a queer one. I think that would be really, really cool. They did the Golden Bachelor, which is an older, like a senior person, and that apparently is successful, and they're married the first season. So, you know, this show is very iconic. A lot of crazy things came out of it. And again, because of this show, a lot of these other shows came about because of that. Because again, a bunch of unhinged women and unhinged men, because there's The Bachelorette too, that want to find love. And then eventually they're like, well, I don't want to find love. I just want to be famous and make a lot of money. Because that's what it is now. That's what The Bachelor is now. Like, no one's finding love on The Bachelor or Bachelorette. Everybody's on there because they want to get a subscription to Just Fab, which doesn't exist anymore. But that used to be the inside joke, Just Fab. And then let's finish it onto the Kardashians, okay? Here's the thing. I'm putting them in We Were Rooting For You. Because I was rooting for them. Because in the beginning, their show was iconic. It was so good. So many funny things came out of it. So many gifts, so many memes, so many just funny fucking things came out of that show. But it got to a point where they got bigger than their britches. And now it's not fun to watch. It's not entertaining. It's not authentic. It's completely produced by them. So they get to choose what's said about them at all times. They're in full control of what comes out of it. And it's the same shit every single season now of the new one on Hulu. It's just not well done. It's not good. It's one of those shows where once reality TV stars started realizing that they could make money off of themselves and they could get sponsorships and they could like get free shit. And then once social media became a huge thing and they could kind of like twist the narrative a little bit and add their own spin to shit, that's when it all went downhill. And when the Kardashians became like bigger than life, and they were able to really, really, really like curate their lives, that's when it got bad. Honestly, when I'd say the last good season of Kardashians was probably the season, I think after she married Chris Humphries, is when everything started going downhill, where they couldn't curate anything anymore. They did curate too much, but they couldn't just be raw and real and fun and do crazy shit and be honest about what's going on in their lives. They had to start like ignoring things and trying to get past scandals and shit. And it wasn't fun anymore to watch. When Kim and Khloe Take New York, I think it was, that was really good. Khloe and Kourtney Take Miami was really, really good. So they have a bunch of spin-offs of the show, but the OG, like, first couple seasons of Kardashians was pretty epic and pretty crazy. And if you know anything about Hollywood, the Kardashians know everybody. They have a connection to every single person in Hollywood. They're like, you know how there's like 7 separations or something, like from like the Kardashians are like 7 separations from you. Like, you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody that knows a Kardashian, like that, or a Jenner. That's just Hollywood. They're all like, there's a huge web and they're all connected. If you ever want to see that, I'm happy to put that together for you guys, because it is the craziest web ever. It's massive. Like, you guys don't understand. They literally know everybody. They're connected to everybody and they're related to everybody. It's wild because they've all married so many different people. So it's kind of crazy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you appreciated it. If you guys have any recommendations for shows, other shows you want me to rank, let me know. Maybe you have like ranking episodes of a show. I'm happy to do that too. Whatever you guys want me to do, I'm happy to take a whack at it and see what you guys think. Because this is our channel. We're here to do this together. We're here to give you guys a relaxing day away from the drama and the crazy cuckoo Cocoa Puffs. You know what I'm saying? So I love you guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the dumb things that the girlies do. Follow my new podcast, my Big Sisters podcast, where I give advice and no topic is off limits. We can talk about whatever you guys want. If you want to submit questions to that podcast, the first episode is going to be airing on Sunday. But if you want to submit questions for the next episodes, please email my podcast email at mybigsisterspodcast@yahoo.com, which will be right down in the description. So you guys can find that there. Also, go follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, wherever social media there is. And I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. And I hope you have a great day. Bye, guys.